Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review slash recap of 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episode 4. The title is Ghosts from the Past. So I have my handy dandy notes here. Let's get started. Okay, first couple is Mike and Ximena. Okay, Mike just landed in Colombia, and Ximena did meet him at the airport. She probably was a little bit late, but she met him at the airport and they hugged. She seems happy to see him. He is taller than her. It doesn't look like it because she's wearing like 4-inch heels, but he is taller than she is. So they did kiss, which looked very awkward. And Ximena thought Mike was taller. When she takes off her heels, she'll realize that he is taller than her by a couple of inches, but yeah. But she said he's cute. And when they get into the car, his phone rings, and Ximena asks, who is it? Who's calling? And Mike said his father. And then he deletes the call, and she asks him, why did he delete the call? And he doesn't understand half of the things she said. Instead of responding to her or saying, the reason why he deleted the call, he says, I think he says, yeah. Or he says, I love you. He says, I love you about 50 million times in her language. So Ximena takes him to this outdoor restaurant, and they're sitting there and they have nothing to say to each other. Even if they spoke the same language, I don't think they would have anything to say to each other. She didn't say, how was your flight? Nothing, nothing. Are you tired? Nothing. Those two are just not compatible. And she's asking him questions, and all he keeps saying is yes. And he doesn't understand what she's saying. He's just saying yes. And she realized that he doesn't understand a word that she's saying. So later on, they pull up at Ximena's place, or apartment, and Mike has no concept of dealing with a woman. He gets out of the back seat of the car, and she's in the back seat of the car, and he shuts the door. Instead of opening the door for her so she can get out, he shuts the door. And then when he realizes his mistake, then he turns around and opens the door for her. But he has no clue about opening doors for women. That's the second time he messed up with that door thing. And this scene was probably done over and over and over again, because we see them walk into her apartment and he has no suitcases. Now, his suitcases aren't with him. So they probably shot that scene over and over and over again, because his suitcase is already in the apartment. So Mike walks into the apartment, and Ximena's entire family is there. And she introduces him to everyone, and everybody greets him very warmly. So Mike sits down, and Ximena is behind him, rubbing his shoulders and massaging his shoulders. I guess because he's nervous, she's trying to make him relax. So Mike has this horrible translator device, and it just doesn't work well. Whatever he's saying, it comes out crazy. And her family, they're laughing at him. They kind of get the gist of what he's saying, but they're laughing at him. They say he's nervous, and his face is red, and he looks like a tomato. But her kids, they seem to warm to him. And the father is giving him the stink eye. I think the father is jealous of Mike, because he can't provide for Ximena and his grandsons the way Mike can. So he's just sitting there giving Mike the stink eye. I don't know what the hell that's all about. So the 9-year-old said that he likes Mike. He liked Mike, and he wants Mike to be his stepfather, because Mike is the best boyfriend he's ever seen his mother with. A 9-year-old doesn't say things like that, do he? I think somebody told him to say that. 9-year-olds don't talk like that, do they? I don't think so. So Mike gives the kids the gifts that he bought for them. And Jimenez's father had some food for him. I don't think he even ate it. Maybe he did off camera. I didn't see him eating it. Mike said he just wanted to take a shower and relax with Ximena. So they put the kids to bed, but the 3-year-old would not fall asleep. He was fussing, and Ximena said they usually sleep in her bed. That's a bad idea. You don't have the kids sleep in your bed. Let them sleep in their own bed. So the little 3-year-old would not settle down and go to sleep, so that they can have their sexy time. So that was that, and that was the end of Mike and Ximena. So next couple is Alina and Caleb. Caleb is being sweet. The next morning he brings Ximena. The next morning he brings Alina coffee in bed. And I wish he would cut his hair. His hair is just long and just I don't like it. I wish he'd cut his hair. And Caleb said they didn't have sex and they didn't kiss. I find that odd though. Why not just kiss her on the cheek? Kiss her on the lips. I don't understand why you can't just give her a little kiss. I don't get that. Caleb said he just wasn't feeling it, and that things were getting into his head, and he started to realize the physical differences between them, and then he was tired. And I can understand that. It was probably shell shock. He didn't realize how small she was. He didn't realize her deformity. He just didn't, he wasn't feeling it. He said, and he was tired. So Caleb asked Alina how was her night, and Alina said she was very upset. She said she went to wash her face and for about 10 minutes, and when she got back from washing her face, Caleb was asleep. I don't blame him. He's tired. For one thing, he traveled for I don't know how many hours. Then he had to push her around in the wheelchair. Then he had to pick the wheelchair up, put it in the van, take the wheelchair out of the van, pick her up, put her in the wheelchair, pick her up, walk her up the steps, pull his luggage and her wheelchair. He's a young, strong guy, but he's tired. He was tired. And I don't blame him. And she's in the bathroom washing her face for 10 minutes. He fell asleep. What is so strange about that? Elena said, where are her cuddles? And she seemed like she's ready to beat him up. She seems pissed. Where are my cuddles? I think Alina she's very demanding, she's selfish, and she's insensitive. And he's insensitive too. And she said she's not going to beg for it. And she said she's not a thirsty ass bitch. I beg to differ. So Caleb starts laughing because that's funny. I would have laughed too. It's funny. And she got offended because he was laughing. And to make her feel better, he just cuddled with her just to shut her up. And when he started cuddling with her, you should have seen her face, the big grin on her face. She was in heaven. And Caleb got her a gift. And it's a tumblestone necklace. And Elena says tumblestone is made of tumbleweed. So it's basically made from trash. Caleb says it's eco-friendly. I'll say one thing about Caleb. He doesn't get upset. No matter what she says or what she does, he doesn't get upset. He keeps his cool. And I like that. I do like that, Caleb. Even though I don't like you, I like that about you. That you keep your cool. So Caleb says that he's calling her the gift that he's given her. She's calling the gift that he's given her trash. So he says it's eco-friendly. So she said okay, and he puts the necklace around her neck. So he also shows her a backpack that he got because he wants to go hiking, and I guess he's gonna put her in the backpack. And she seems fine with that. I think that's a horrible idea because she can't straighten out her legs. Her legs are gonna be crumpled up in his back. So I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. But Elena seems fine with it. So we see Alina, and Caleb holding hands and coming down the stairs. And he's going too fast for her. She's telling him, stop rushing, hold on. He is so insensitive to her disability. I don't know what he thinks. He's coming down the steps and he's going fast. She has little tiny legs and can't go down, and little special shoes. She can't go down the steps as fast as Caleb can. Caleb is a grown man, strong, healthy man with long legs. She had to tell him to stop rushing. So Elijah's in the lobby waiting for them. So Caleb finally gets to meet Elijah. And Elijah asks Caleb if he kissed Alina when they first met. And Caleb said, Alina is great, but... And then Alina cut him off when he said but. She didn't like the but. And Elijah's giving Caleb a hard time about not being more affectionate with Alina. I like Elijah, but that's none of his business. Alina, she just wants some sex from Caleb. And Elijah said he sensed tension between Alina and Caleb. And you know what frisky Alina says? She goes, unreleased tension. Calm down, Alina. Just calm down. He said he wasn't going to beg for it, but come on. Okay, so they decide to go sightseeing. And Caleb is having a hard time pushing Alina's wheelchair. So Caleb asked Elijah to help him out, to get in front and pick the chair up. And Elijah said, you don't need help. You can do it yourself. Because Elijah's been doing it himself. So Elijah showed Caleb how to, maneuver the stairs with the wheelchair. So they're bickering back and forth. They're men, bickering back and forth. And I think Alina likes it. I think she likes the fact that they're bickering back and forth. So they go to this mosque, and Caleb and Elijah, they go off together and leave Alina all by herself. Caleb is very insensitive to Alina's limitations. And Elijah took him to task for that. He's like, you can't just go off and leave her. I mean, you have to be careful of where you go and what you do. But anyway, the three of them, they go to a restaurant to have dinner. I think it was dinner anyway. And Caleb is not happy that Elijah is there with them. He wanted some alone time with Alina. So Caleb is just Caleb. He pours water in his own glass, and Elijah takes him to task for not helping Alina out by pouring her water first. And Caleb says, Alina is fine. She can do more functions than you allow her to do. She's fine. He says she can do more for herself, and she doesn't need that much help. And Elijah said, it's not help. It's not just help, it's caring for her too. And I think Caleb is just insensitive. He's just insensitive. When Caleb poured his water and didn't pour Alina's water for her, and Elijah was fussing at him, Alina says that he's American and Americans aren't gentlemen. Hey, I can't defend that. It's true with some Americans aren't. Some are. Some American men aren't gentlemen, and some are. So Caleb started to drink his drink, but they wanted to make a toast. So Elijah is looking at him like that. He said, well, I'm thirsty. Caleb said, well, I'm thirsty. So Alina tells Caleb to make a toast, and Caleb says, to my best friend and her best friend coming to Turkey. Alina was like, huh? They said, what? I guess she wanted to say, to us being here together, meeting each other for the first time, getting to know each other. I guess she wanted something like that. But he called her a best friend. To my best friend, meeting your best friend, or some nonsense. Poor Caleb. Caleb was like a bull in a china store. He's just uncouth and just raw. So Elijah asks Caleb about his other best friends. And Caleb says, I'm here to concentrate on Alina. Nothing about anybody else. I'm here with Alina. So then Caleb asks Elijah about Alina's relationships. And Elijah didn't want to answer the question. He's like squirming and stuff. He's barely talking. So Alina finally says, she tells Caleb that her last relationship was around 6 months ago. And then Alina tells us that she has a secret, that she was living with this boyfriend that she had 6 months ago, this ex-boyfriend. She was living with him. Recently, she was living with him. And she didn't tell Caleb, so that's her little secret. She says she's afraid to tell Caleb because I guess she don't want to ruin their time together. So Caleb, he gets rid of Elijah. He tells Elijah, so what are you going to do tonight? What are you getting ready to do? You know, and it made Elijah realize that, I want to spend some time with Alina. So Elijah walks out, and Caleb and Alina, they go upstairs to the room, and he picks her up and carries her up the steps. And then when he gets in the room, I think he's a little rough with her. When he gets her in the room, he kisses her. He throws her on the bed. He kisses her again. He rolls her over, and he plops her down on top of him. I'm a little afraid for Alina. What's about to happen here? A little afraid for her. Next couple is Memphis and Hamza. Okay, so Memphis and Hamza, they finally made it out of the airport, because last episode Hamza didn't know how to get out of the airport, but they finally made it out of the airport, and they're outside of the airport, and they're walking a long distance towards this car that they're supposed to, that's supposed to take him to Hamza's house. And Memphis is asking 1,001 questions. Memphis asks, she says, how are we getting home? Are you going to drive? She goes, who's going to drive? Are you going to drive? Am I going to drive? Where are we going? So they finally got to the car, and Hamza introduced her to the guy, the driver. I guess that's his friend, the one that dropped him off. Excuse me. And they're driving, and Memphis asked, how long is the drive to his house? And he says 2 hours. You mean to tell me there wasn't another plane that could get her closer to another airport closer to his house? 2 hours from the airport to his house. That's crazy. And she's been flying all day? I'd be so tired. So Memphis looks at Hamza's phone, and he has a picture of himself as a screensaver, I guess. And on her screensaver, she has a picture of him. So she's like wondering why, how come you don't have a picture of me? I have a picture of you. You don't have a picture of me. And he says, why problem? Like, why is that a problem? He doesn't understand what the big deal is not having her picture as a screensaver. And she tells him she just wants to make sure that he likes her. And he says, yes, I like you. So they flirt a little bit. And then she asks him if he wants sexy time tonight. And he explains to her that his mother does not want them sleeping together unless they're married, until they're married, or after they're married. So now Memphis knows that he lied to her. Because before he had told her that they could share the same room or whatever. And that poor guy driving, I know he hears everything, and I know he understands everything that they're saying. That must be embarrassing for him to have to sit there and listen to them. So Memphis is pissed. She wants to test the equipment before she, before she buys it. Let's put it that way. So they pull up at Hamza's apartment, and Memphis is worried about meeting his mom or his family because she's divorced with 2 kids from 2 different men. So, and she knows that their culture, is not like that. They go up about 10 flights of stairs, but Hamza is good. He carried all of the suitcases by himself up the 10 flights of steps that they went up. And Hamza is worried about his mom's personality and Memphis' personality because they both have strong personalities. So when Hamza gets to the door, he rings the doorbell. I guess he doesn't have a key. They don't trust him with a key. So he rings the doorbell, and the sister comes out of the apartment and gives Memphis a hug. Instead of waiting for her to come in the apartment, inviting her in the apartment, and then hugging her, she comes out of the apartment and hugs her. So then Memphis goes in the apartment and she greets his mom and hugs his mom. Then they sit on the sofa and they talk a little bit. And then Memphis asks Hamza and Hamza's sister where Hamza's going to be sleeping. And they said right here on this couch. So they talk for a little while. And then it's time for Memphis to go to bed. So she says goodnight to the mother and the sister, and Hamza takes her suitcases into the bedroom. And Memphis tells Hamza that if they can't have sexy time before they get married, then that's going to be a problem. And Hamza says he understands. Now Hamza barely understands English, but he understood that. He says when his mom goes to sleep, he'll come back into the room. He'll sneak back into the room. And Memphis says, why don't we just go to a hotel, because she doesn't want to disrespect his mom, And he never said anything else about going to a hotel. So the next morning, Hamza's mom comes to the door to knock on the door, and she hears Hamza in the room. So she was about to knock on the door, and she heard Hamza in the bedroom. And then Memphis opens up the door and sees Hamza's mom standing there. And she was like, oh, Hamza. And Hamza's mom walks in the room and see Hamza in the bed. And she is pissed. She walks out of the room. She walks into the kitchen and she is pissed. And that was the end of the segment of Hamza and Memphis. They should have just went to a hotel. She should have discussed, well, if he had told her that the mom didn't want them sleeping together in the first place, she probably would have suggested a hotel and tell him to book a hotel or send him money to book a hotel. But he didn't tell her that the mom did not want them sleeping together before they got married. So next up is Kimberly and Usman. So we see Kimberly. She's in her hotel room and she's sitting on the bathtub soaking her feet in, her ankles actually, in the bathtub in ice cold water. She says her ankles have been swollen for 2 days. And she says she needs her boobs and her butt to be bigger than her ankles. So later on, she's putting on mascara. She should put on some lashes. She's putting on mascara, and she's getting ready to go meet up with Usman. And she says she wants to look her best. I wish she would put on a nice, flowy summer dress so that she can look feminine and not so hard, not so rough. She would look nice and softer, put on a nice flowy summer dress, long one, come with them legs and those toes. Then we see Usman and the guys, Uzi and the guys. They're walking, checking out the scenery. They finally sat down at a table with some drinks. And Badmus, that's the manager, he asks Usman if he spent the night with Kimberly in Kimberly's room. And he knows the answer to that. He knows that. This is another scene set up by the producers. So Budmus, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the manager. He asks Usman if he spent the night in Kimberly's room. And that's none of his damn business. He needs to quit being so nosy. He just needs to do his manager job and stop being so nosy. Usman let him know that he did not spend the night in Kimberly's room. And I'm pretty sure he already knew that. As this is just a scene set up by the producers. So Slim T, this is Usman's assistant. He asks if they spent any time together. And Slim T is nosy. He is the nosy assistant who assists Badmus in irritating Kimberly. That's his job, to irritate Kimberly, to assist Badmus into irritating Kimberly. That's his job, not to be Usman's assistant, because he ain't doing nothing. He's not doing anything. So Usman tells them that he went to her room and she gave him a laptop and the latest video game. So Busman, after that they start talking about business, and Busman he starts telling Usman about this popular singer. Her name is Rose Ree. And it's another set up to irritate Kimberly. And they claim it's a business meeting. He's going to meet this rosary lady, and it's a business meeting. But it's just something to get on Kimberly's nerve, to see how she's going to react. So Kimberly shows up, and the assistant Slam, is his name Slam T? She shows up and she's sitting beside Usman. They're holding hands. And the assistant Slam T does not like the fact that they're holding hands. He's saying that somebody might see them, take a picture, and put it on the internet. She's on national TV holding his hand. So what? I mean, people see that already. So what are you talking about? Somebody gonna take a picture and put it online? She's holding his hand on national TV. The whole world sees it. So shut up, Slim T, and go assist. Go. I don't know what your job is. To assist Usman. Assist him in what? In getting on his nerves? Getting on my nerves. I think they're giving Slim T too many speaking roles. Why are they giving him a speaking line? I heard a while back that the foreigners don't get any. They don't get paid. They don't get any money. So why are they giving him all this speaking line? You can just shut up. Okay, so Usman tells Kimberly about meeting up with Rose. What's her name? Rosary, I think is her name. And Kim automatically gets suspicious and asks if it's a date. Now, if it was a date, why would he tell her? Anyway, so Usman reassures her that it's not a date. And Usman asks her to come with him to meet Rosary. And Kimberly's acting like an ass. And I don't understand why. He's asking her to come with him, to meet this person. She's just telling him maybe you should go by yourself. She's trying to get pissed off. She's trying to get upset. Maybe you should go by yourself. So Uzi says, somebody's pissed off. And she goes, no, just go by yourself. So Slam T and Budmus, they agree with Kimberly that Usman should go meet Rosary by himself. But Usman insists. He says no. He wants Kimberly to go with him. So right away, so I think Usman wants her to go because he's on cloud nine because she got him the gifts. And he's trying to be nice to her because she got him the gift. And Kimberly is just not happy that Usman is meeting up with Rosary, aka another chick. That's what Kimberly calls her, another chick. She's not happy that Usman is meeting up with another chick. And Kimberly turns badass. She says, if I see any flirting going on between Usman and Rosary, I'm gonna flip the table and walk out. She is something else. If he flirts with this girl, she's going to flip the table and walk out. So later on, we see Kimberly and Usman. They go to the restaurant where they're supposed to meet Rosary. And as soon as they sit down, Kimberly asks Usman, why are they meeting this woman? And he explains to her it's because of business. And Kimberly's upset because she wants one-on-one time with Usman. And Usman is getting irritated with her. Because she's talking about she should have stayed in the room. She should have stayed in the room. And if he had not invited her and she had stayed in the room, she would have been pissed. She needs to just chill the hell out and relax. Usman hasn't done anything bad yet. I said yet. Okay, so Rosary shows up and she greets both Usman and Kimberly. And Usman and her, they're talking about him getting him some dancers, I guess, for his video. And, they're just talking. They're not talking, they're not flirting with each other. They're not doing anything crazy. And Kimberly, she says she feels like the third wheel. She's uncomfortable because Rosary is young and beautiful. And Rosary is very smart. She picked up on the fact that Kimberly was not happy and she was uncomfortable. So she starts to charm Kimberly. She starts asking her questions and, called her pretty, and she just charmed the hell out of Kimberly. And Kimberly started to relax, and then Usman starts telling Rosary about their relationship and how that if they, if everything goes well with them, that he's gonna marry her. And Kimberly is on freaking cloud nine. She is so freaking happy. I guess she's there's no flipping of the tables gonna happen tonight because she is just on cloud nine. That's the end of Usman and what's her name? Kimberly. All right. Next is Gino and Jasmine. Gino and Jasmine are in bed and they're talking and they're kissing, and Gino is still wearing his hat. Gino says the first night together was so good. Gino says Jasmine blew him away. Gino is all happy, giggly, and blushing in his confession. Jasmine tells Gino that he is a good kisser. I don't know who she's been kissing, but she says he's a good kisser. And Jasmine said last night she was very surprised about Gino's performance. She said Gino was a savage. I can't believe that. Not Gino. Jasmine told Gino that he did a good job. And I think she's lying. And Gino made it clear that he did not use a blue pill. He did not need a blue pill. You don't need that stuff. I think you better hold on to them pills and keep them close. Because Jasmine, she said she wanted to break him. So we'll see. Jasmine said that last night was outstanding. And I think she's lying. Jasmine said he took off his hat when the lights went out. And Jasmine said she couldn't see his head, but she could feel his head. Okay, so later on now, they go shopping. I can't stand what Jasmine is wearing. She's wearing a lime green, very, very short culotte, I think it is. It's ugly. Gino's dressed better than her. Gino's wearing shorts, a t-shirt, sandals, and his hat. And he looks 10 times better than her. And then the second episode, she was saying how Gino can't dress. Gino looked 10 times better than her. So they go into a souvenir store or a shop. And Gino's ex-wife is from Brazil. So in his house, he has a lot of Brazilian memorabilias. And Jasmine wants Panamanian memorabilias in Gino's house. And for some reason, she ended up calling Gino's ex-wife stupid. And Gino, let her know, don't say that. Don't call her stupid. She's my ex-wife. You don't call her stupid. But Jasmine says she's stupid to me. And then Jasmine says she does not want to live in a house that someone else decorated. Oh, put your foot on the brakes, Jasmine. He hasn't asked you to marry him yet. He hasn't asked you to move in. He hasn't done any what do you call it? I was about to say 401k. He hasn't done any visa for you to come to the States. Just pump your brakes. Who say you're gonna be living in the house? But you keep acting. So Jasmine is spoiled, and Gino needs to dump her. And I'm gonna keep saying it until he hears me. And Gino said he can't talk about his ex in front of Jasmine because the last time he did it, she didn't talk to him for a whole day. She not talking to him for a whole day. That's a good little break. You should have enjoyed that little break of her not talking to him for a whole day. Jasmine told Gino that they are going to forget about the ghosts from the past. They're dead. And poor terrified Gino said, okay. Gino said he wondered what Jasmine would do if she knew that he was friends with one of his exes. Gino, you cannot be with someone who you are terrified of. That doesn't work. He's terrified of telling her that he's friends with one of his exes. You can't be with someone who you're terrified of. Last but not least, Ella and Johnny. Let me hurry up. How long have I been? More than 30 minutes. Ella says that Johnny is quitting his job and coming to see her in a few months. Why would you quit your job? Don't do that. That's not a good idea. Whose idea was that for him to quit his job? Are they giving out jobs in China? Left and right? Just snap your finger and boom, you get a job? Okay, so Ella thinks she's a witch. Her and two other witches are in her yard, and they're casting a love spell. I'm not even going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, okay? Okay, so we see Johnny. Johnny's in China, and he's trying on a COVID suit that he plans on wearing on, I guess he's planning on wearing it on the plane when he travels to the States. And he looks ridiculous in that suit. Okay, so Johnny goes to a doctor. And I don't know what kind of doctor this is. There's no receptionist. There's no signing in. There's no waiting room. Nobody's taking your medical information. There's nothing. It's just a door. He knocks on the door. Somebody says, come in. And there's a doctor sitting there. Boom. Anyway, Johnny tells the doctor that his girlfriend is American and he's trying to help her lose weight. In his confessional, Johnny says that his girlfriend Ella has a really beautiful face and her personality is fantastic. And he says he loves her. So the doctor asks to see a picture of Ella. And Johnny pulls out his phone and shows her a picture of Ella. Johnny says that Ella's current size is kind of a little big. That's cute. Kind of a little big. He says especially her belly. The doctor looks at Ella's picture and says she's overweight. Duh, that's why he's there, because he wants to help her lose weight. So, of course, she's overweight. Anyway, Johnny says that if he can help her with weight loss, she will become more beautiful and healthy. And the doctor asks, does she eat much? She's overweight. He said, does she eat much? What kind of question is that? I don't think that's a doctor. I think that's somebody they pull off the street and put on a white coat on and say, come, let's shoot this episode real quick, or let's shoot this one scene real quick. Because I don't understand this doctor asking these crazy questions. Johnny says the way she eats in America, their food is high in calories. He says they eat desserts. That's what you're supposed to do with desserts, Johnny. You're supposed to eat desserts, right? You eat desserts. What do you do with the desserts? Johnny also said they eat chocolate and meat. What else is he supposed to do with the chocolate? He's supposed to eat the chocolate. What? And the doctor is shady. The so-called doctor. She's shady. She said that even if we binge eat, we wouldn't eat as much as they do. She said that's how they live. The doctor and Johnny, they are shady towards Americans. They are. So the doctor prescribes Johnny some Chinese herbs to help with the weight loss. And Johnny tells us that Chinese women are small, but he is attracted to American women because they are independent and sexy. So Johnny goes and fills the prescription to get the herbs. Johnny says that he's nervous about ranch work. And he should be nervous. That's hard labor. Johnny says that he hopes to become a redneck cowboy. Where did he hear the word redneck? I'm from Jamaica. I came to the States when I was 11. I've never heard the word redneck until I came to this country. Where did he learn that word redneck? Did he learn it from Ella? Alexa, what's a redneck?
I'd rather not answer that.
Even Alexa is offended by the word redneck. So Johnny meets up with his friends at a restaurant. And one of his friends says to Johnny, I hear you're doing well. But Johnny says, no, I can barely feed myself. Aha, that's why he's going to the States. He's not making enough money to feed his family, his parents and his child and himself. So that's why he's going to the States. He's going to the States. So he's not just going to the States for Ella. He's going to the States for a better living. So the friends talk about Ella. Johnny told them that Ella is doing well, and Johnny's fat friend have the nerve to ask about um being sexual with Johnny, being sexual with Ella and being suffocated. And he's fat too. I mean, he's not as fat as Ella, but he's fat too. And how dare him say some mess like that? I guess he knows about suffocating because that's probably what he's used to, because he's huge too. So the skinny friend says it's quite easy to lose weight because he's probably never been fat. He's never been fat. And the chubby friend says, asks Johnny if he's sure he wants to drop everything and go to the United States. And Johnny tells his friends that he's choosing love over his job. He's not choosing love over, I think he's choosing Ella over his sons, his job, his apartment, his parents, his culture, his country, his lifestyle. He's getting rid of all of that for Ella, and to go to the States, because he thinks he'll have a better life in the States with Ella. Good luck with that, Johnny, because you're gonna need it. But Johnny says that Ella has gotten him through some of his darkest days, and he's been lonely. And Johnny says he's going to propose to Ella on the trip when he gets to the States. So we see Ella. Ella gets up early in the morning, and she puts on this long blonde wig. She's dressing up for Johnny. And she's hoping that this will excite Johnny when he sees her. And they're video chatting, and Johnny seems to really like the wig, the ugly blonde wig. And I know it's some type of a character she's dressing up for, that he likes. But the wig is still ugly. So they talk about shopping for more costumes once he gets to the States. Ella told Johnny that her mom is worried that he won't like the ranch life. And Johnny says he likes animals and he likes going to the zoo. Poor Johnny. When you go to the zoo, you just look at you walk around and you look at the animals that are caged up. You don't have to take care of them. You don't have to feed them, clean up after them, and do everything that they need done for them. You don't have to take care of the animals when you go to the zoo. When you're on this farm, okay, we'll see how well you do, Johnny. This is hard labor. Okay, running a farm, taking care of these animals, it's hard labor. I've never done it. I've seen it on TV, but I can just imagine. It's hard labor. I don't think Johnny knows what he's getting into. Johnny said he is worried about his son because it's hard for him to go from the United States to go back to China. So I don't know when he plans on seeing his son again once he leaves China to come to the States. Okay, that's the end of my review / recap. I will be back next week with another review of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. If you would like to see more of my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, share my video. Princess on a Pillow here. Thank you very much for watching, and a Happy New Year. Bye.